Retirement planning is simple. Save money, invest money, get to the point where that money can sustain you for the rest of your life and manage your expenses, and then boom, you're retired. That's simple, right? Yeah, I didn't think so either. Look, retirement planning can be very complicated. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of personalized decisions that you have to make along the way. That could be from how much you save, to how you invest in different markets, all the way down to deciding what age you actually retire. And even when you get to the point where you feel comfortable enough to retire, so you've done all the savings, all the investing, all the planning, and you're ready to clock out for the last time, most people have it in their mind that once they get to that point, that it's just smooth sailing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not. Most people plan their retirement by coming up with an income goal that they need to sustain their lifestyle. This is usually their expenses and something to factor in inflation. And then they create streams of income. This could be Social Security, withdrawal strategies from your savings, or something like a pension or annuity to help achieve that income goal. But here's the problem. Most people have no idea what they spent last month, let alone the ability to forecast years in the future. Hey everybody, I'm Jonathan Rankin, the founder of Theorem. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our retirement planning videos. And if you've been following us for a while, welcome back. Today we are talking about 4 retirement expenses that many people underestimate. In fact, the Employee Benefit Research Institute once found that only 8% of people said they had lower than expected retirement costs. Almost 40% of people said that retirement costs more than they had planned. So if your retirement plan is based on how much you're going to spend every month and that number is completely off, then your golden years might actually turn out to be tinfoil. Now, the first expense that might surprise you is the cost of healthcare. I know many people ask about this cost and they know that it's going to be expensive, but I don't think they realize just how expensive it's going to be. Now, it's easy to think that once you're on Medicare and you have all of your supplemental insurance, that everything is taken care of. That's just not the case. New research actually shows that a 65-year-old man enrolled in Medicare with a Medigap plan will need $166,000 saved for medical expenses just to have a good chance, which they define as a 90% chance of covering his projected healthcare costs. And because women typically live longer than men, they estimate a 65-year-old woman is going to need $197,000 to cover her costs. Even the experts conducting the research believe those estimates are low. Advancements in medicine are helping us live longer lives, and if you've ever had an old car or an old house, you know they require more maintenance as time goes on. Take it from someone who has a 104-year-old house, it requires a lot of maintenance. But the same can be said for us as humans. The older we get, the more we're going to have to spend on maintenance. Now, the second retirement expense that might surprise you is how much you're going to spend on the enjoy life phase of retirement. This is the first few years of retirement that are the most exciting. A lot of people call these the go-go years. This is where you're in the best health that you're going to be in retirement, and you want to maximize the enjoyment of life. You've got all this new time on your hands, so you want to go out and enjoy it. In fact, Capital Group found that 40% of retirees spent more on travel than they expected, and retirees also spend more money dining out than they initially planned. Now look, I get that one. If you've been packing your lunch for over 30 years, going out for a nice meal during the day sounds pretty enjoyable. But this entire go-go phase of life typically costs more than expected because this is where many people justify the spending by saying life's too short, gotta enjoy it while you can. Well, if you stay healthier longer than you expected and life isn't as short as you thought it would be, then the constant overspending can eventually catch up to you at some point. And the last thing that you ever want to do in your 80s is see if ChatGPT can help you build a resume. Which brings us to the third retirement expense that might surprise you, and that is home maintenance. I've seen a lot of people plan their entire retirement around getting their house paid off. But just because your house is paid off and you have that extra money per month, you can still end up spending thousands of dollars on your home per year. A report by the Society of Actuaries found that the most common shock to retirement budgets was a major house repair or upgrade, and 28% of American retirees reported that kind of expense. But it doesn't have to be this major repair or major upgrade. Think of the little things that can eventually add up. If you're the type of person that cuts their own grass or does work around the house and eventually you get to the point where you just physically can't do it anymore, you might have to hire people to help you with that. That cost wasn't initially planned for, and when you add that up, as well as the increasing healthcare costs and the overspending in the go-go years, it could start to create cracks in your retirement plan later on in life. Now, the last retirement expense that might surprise you is actually transportation. Now, even though you're not commuting to work every single day, most people don't just retire to just stay at home. That's why they do call it the go-go years in the beginning. Whether it's doctor's appointments, grocery stores, or just going out and enjoying life, the average American person 65 and older spends $7,160 on transportation per year. Now, when most people think of transportation, they immediately think of their car. And that would be cost of gas, insurance, repairs, maybe even a car payment. But at a certain point, you might get to the point in life where you just can't drive anymore or don't want to. But with services out there like Uber and Lyft, that doesn't mean that you're stuck at home either. In fact, a growing number of retirees are giving up their cars completely in exchange for ride-sharing services like those to get around. So to recap, the 4 retirement expenses that might surprise you are healthcare, your go-go years, home maintenance, and transportation. Now, every retiree is different, and you might have expenses based on your life that others don't experience. And while these are only 4 expenses that you might face in retirement, it's important to make sure there are no big surprises in retirement. The best way to do that is by continuing to plan for your retirement even while you're retired. Review your spending, make sure you understand the longevity risk of your savings. It is pretty easy to do, but if you need help, our firm would be happy to help you. Just click the link in the description below to get started. If you are planning for retirement and you're saving in either a 401k or a 403b, you're definitely going to want to check out the video coming up next, where I share the huge mistake that millions of people make each year with their 401k. I'll see you there.